Welcome back to Field Ready. In this episode, we'll be sitting down with our Mesa product manager, Jeff Delatore, discussing some frequently asked questions around the product line. We'll also be talking about our Mesa Rugged Tablet. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Field Ready. I'm really excited to talk with you about our new product, the Mesa Rugged Tablet, and also just our whole line of Mesa Rugged Tablets. Now we have quite a bit to offer our customers, and so thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me.
Maybe just to start out, can you briefly introduce the Rugged Tablet line, the Mesa?
Absolutely. We've got, as you mentioned, the Mesa product family is Juniper Systems tablet product line. It has a 7-inch display, and you have the option of running Windows 10 Professional or Android version 9. And you can see here we got a couple examples, obviously our Windows 10 and then our Android version.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, thanks. So just a follow-up to that question, can you tell us a little bit about the different industries that we sell into and why the Mesa 3 is good for those industries?
Yeah, it's kind of a challenging question to answer. Because it works so well across so many different industries, right, and each kind of has their own specific use case that's different than the other, but there's just a lot of different ways that it's used. But natural resource is one of the ones that where it's heavily used. We've got, and some of the guys will use this in the forest industry, or I guess as a subset of that industry, they're looking at forest products, forest inventory. They can even be mapping out, fields to identify different species that live in a region or in an area.
Right.
You've also got geospatial, where they're mapping precision locations, and that's used in horizontal and vertical construction. You got industrial industry, where you might have guys working in a plant or a processing facility, and they've got to go and inspect assets or pieces of equipment. You've got utilities, public services. It might be, capturing meter data. There's military, law enforcement. There's just so many different varied applications where these products are used. With
our line of grain gauges, within our Harvest Master brand. So that's very cool too. And so maybe just tell us a little bit more about why our Mesa Rugged Tablets are good in those industries,
Yeah, I think these tablets work so well because they're built from the ground up to be rugged. I mean, all of these, I think one of the common themes across all of these industries is they're operating in rugged environments with, at extremes, high temperatures, low temperatures, rain, shine. And so I think that's the common theme across all of them. And so, they're built from the ground up to be rugged. They're built to have a battery life that lasts all day.
Right, that's huge.
Yeah, and it makes it so that you're not using at least when I use my phone or some other consumer tablet, it's good for maybe 4 hours depending on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And with these, what I love about them is I can use them all day long, and that's 10, 12, 14, 16 hours depending on obviously what I'm doing, but I can use them all day. They can outwork me.
In use. What's cool about the battery life is it's not just on standby. It's in use is where that spec is coming from. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and I think one of the other key differentiators in our products is, when you're outside trying to work in sunlight, having a display that you can view in direct sunlight is really challenging to find.
Right.
And that with these products, you get that, and so you want to be able to do your work and not be inhibited by the environment that you're in.
Very cool. Yeah, it's awesome, and like you mentioned, we sell into so many different industries. It really is impressive where we've got our industries, and then we've got our sub-markets, and then within those there's so many different applications, and like you said, the common denominator is just data collection in a rugged environment. So yeah, that's awesome. Thanks so much. And I guess my next question is kind of along with the ruggedness and durability of these products. So the Mesa Rugged Tablet line is rated IP68 and meets military standards. Can you just kind of explain those ratings for people who may not be familiar with those?
Sure. I mean, your military standard, there's a bunch of military standards. One that we designed to is the MIL standard 810G. And that's one it's really a compilation of tests that you can do to simulate environmental conditions that people might be operating in. And then the IP rating, IP stands for ingress protection. And then, most products are rated to IP67. Most rugged products.
Yeah,
or a lot
comparative products.
Yeah, they're rated IP67, which is a submersion test in water, a meter for 30 minutes. And we're rating our product as IP68, which we specify a depth, and then we specify how long it has to stay at that depth.
Yeah.
And our Mesa product line is rated for 1.4 meters, or a little over 4.5 feet, for 2 hours.
Which is impressive, because the other ones, I think, didn't you mention it's 30 minutes is the typical?
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah, and so that IP test is really a test standard to try and protect against foreign objects getting introduced into the product itself and causing damage in some way.
Cool. And I know you can't tell everything, how we test our products here, but can you just tell us a little bit about our process for testing and kind of how we arrive at those ratings and, kind of the testing that we go through to make sure these products are leaving the doors rugged as they come?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got, all through our development process and designing our products, we are constantly going through different tests. A lot of these are ones found in that mill standard, 810G. Right. So we do a lot of those. Some of those might include, drop testing, extreme temperature testing, vibration testing, humidity, temperature shock, submersion. Throughout that whole design process, we're focusing on being able to meet those standards that simulate what our customers are going to experience. And then obviously over the years, we've been building products for years, and we've been able to identify and understand, we do these tests in-house, and that is more than adequate for what most of our customers are putting the product through. And so yeah, we go through the tests through development, and then once we get to production, all of our products, as they're getting built and before they get shipped out of the door, they all go through some environmental test and some seal test before they get shipped out. So we have confidence that all of our products are going to operate at those temperature extremes, but then also be sealed so people can go operate in, again, those temperature extremes. They can operate in the rain, and they don't have to worry about that stuff getting into the product and ruining it. And it makes it so that we know, and also the customer knows, that their data that they've collected, it's protected, and they have confidence in the data that they've captured.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I think one thing that's unique about Juniper Systems is that we don't batch test, right? Every single device that's leaving our doors is tested to some degree, for seal and, like you said, temperature. So
yep, 100% cool. Inspection. And I think another thing that's very unique about us and what we do is everything is designed and manufactured at our facility here in Logan. I mean, I don't know if people can see, but here behind us is a bit of our manufacturing plant. And so I think that's another great thing. We have complete control over that design because that's all under one roof. We have complete control over the fabrication because it's under one roof.
Right. Very cool. And this kind of leads into with our next question, is one that we get a lot, I feel like, and a lot of people are kind of debating between these two, but can you tell me a little bit about the difference between a rugged tablet and a consumer tablet in a ruggedized case? Because I know, when people are researching, they kind of weigh the two, and can you just touch on that a bit?
Absolutely. I mean, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, some of the key differentiators is having products that are going to last throughout your workday and the work that you have to get done.
Right.
And we all have experience with a consumer product, consumer phone, consumer tablet that just doesn't quite stand up to that task. And so it's, selecting that. We have a display that's going to be bright enough that you can view all the content on your display.
Indirect sunlight.
Indirect sunlight, whether that's maps, form data. And so indirect sunlight, you're going to be able to read the information. You're going to be able to capture more information, enter it in, and see what you're doing. You've got a battery life that's going to, in most cases, will outwork me.
You're right.
So you've got a battery that's going to last you, several hours. In our Mesa, we have the option of an internal battery that's got anywhere between 4 to 6 hour capacity. And there's also a removable battery that's got between 8 and 12 hours of capacity. And so what that allows you to do is it gives you really versatility in your workspace. You can go and work And if you need more than whatever the 10, 12, 14 hours of combined runtime, you can pull that removable battery out, put in a new one that's charged, and you can keep working. Or if you have shift work where you've got one guy that's coming in at 7 p.m. and you need to hand off your device,
right?
He puts in a
It's
new
charged.
battery, it's charged, he's off and running.
Yeah, it's also very cool that it's Hotswap. So there's no downtime, right? You pop out that external battery and your device is still on and running, and so you're not losing any time trying to return on the device. So that's kind of a cool feature too.
Yeah, it makes it so that you have continuous workflow if you need it.
Right.
And I think another key differentiator is, you mentioned buying a consumer device and sticking it in some ruggedized case or sealed case.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, that might get you by. But, I think the key benefit is having it built from the ground up to be rugged.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's designed for. It's a tool that's specific to that application and that need. And so I think that's another key differentiator. And, I think what a lot of people don't realize or often realize is that, a device, an iPad or some other consumer device, they might cost you $1,000. And I don't know what their prices are, but in reality, when you get out and you're collecting data, the cost of that device doesn't compare in comparison to the cost of what it costs to send a person out to the field, collect all that data,
Right.
and then get it back to process it.
Mm-hmm.
And so really the cost of data is the biggest expense to a company or business. And our whole value add is creating a rugged product that protects that data. It allows you to capture it in environments that are, maybe less than desirable to
Right.
be in.
Yeah.
And you have confidence that I've captured it. It's not, if I drop the device or if I get it wet, I'm not losing all that information, and I can get back home, get back to my office and use that, and I don't have to go out and redo it again.
Right.
And so I think that is one of the biggest benefits of purchasing rugged computers. It's a tool specific to the job, and you want to have confidence in your data collection, confidence that I can have my data back when I get home.
Yeah, very cool. And I think that's the whole idea of this total cost of ownership, right? I think upfront cost, right? It's a lot less with a consumer device, but when you factor in all of these different things, like I think you were telling me the other day about this really cool use case where a team was flying into some remote location on a helicopter, so you have the cost of the helicopter ride. They didn't have access to internet or any sort of electricity, so no charging the device, no connectivity. And so they just packed a bag full of external batteries I think they had to be gone for like a week, you said?
Mm-hmm.
And so they just packed this bag of batteries and they were able to just work through a whole week collecting data and, through rain and other, climate and, environmental, working through all of that. And they're ready to go and they're set and they don't have to worry about losing this data because of the device that they're using. And we have a lot of stories like that, where people bring in devices, that have gotten smashed by the weirdest things, but yet we're able to recover their data, which is huge. So that's great. Thanks for sharing that.
And just to kind of touch on that last point you made is being able to recover their data. A lot of consumer products, if you have information on there, you drop it, it breaks, it gets wet.
It's gone.
Like you can't recover that data.
Oh.
There's no one that can do that for you. And
Right.
maybe there is, but a lot of that comes down to the hardware that you built or designed into that product to begin with.
Right.
And so, and again, coming back to the Mesa, it's built with the hardware that we can go in, and we've had numerous stories where someone has completely demolished their device.
Yeah.
Some of them have been cut in half by a scissor lift. Some of them torched, to a crisp.
Yeah.
And they sent them in, and we were able to pull out the main boards, extract their data, and send it back to them. And so now they didn't lose all of that information, and they're able to, continue working.
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. One thing that I also think probably is worth mentioning is the ergonomics of the product. I mean, we have in-house designers too, and they pay really close attention to the shape of the device, make sure that it's comfortable in someone's hand all day, So can you just touch on that a little bit more as far as, rugged tablet to consumer tablet kind of differences with ergonomics?
Yeah, one of the biggest things I've noticed using consumer products is, they're thin. And we want things to be light and small to be able to fit in our pocket. But, to hold them for an extended period of time, it's really kind of taxing and uncomfortable. And so, and again, one of the things that we focus on is the ergonomics, because we recognize that these end users, these are guys out in the field, they have to have these in their hand all day. And so yeah, our product is going to be a little bit thicker than consumer products, because we want it to fit in your hand and feel good in your hand. So you're not having to really squeeze your hand down and put strain there. But yeah, so we've got, I mean, you can see the different contours. You know, they've got areas so that, you know, where your fingers naturally rest so that it's easier to hold the device. There's a hand strap where it's positioned. It makes it so you can, again, hold this in a way that's comfortable. You can put it down to your side and, you know, with very little effort, keep hold of this product. And this is very crucial for many customers that have to, you know, like that are hiking through, you know, some field or hiking through the forest to collect information. And we've got customers in the Pacific Northwest. These guys are hiking in and around trees and this overgrowth. And, you know, there's a potential sometimes where these guys will fall through stuff, and, you know, they're having to crawl all over the place. And so they need something that they can, you know, move around with, hold very easily, and feel comfortable with, so that they have the energy they need to focus on staying safe in their environment.
Great. Jumping topics a little bit, with with our customization options, can you just touch on kind of that's kind of our bread and butter is a lot of these customization options. We work with a lot of different partners to do what we can to get them the device that they need for their solution, and then ultimately serving our end users. Can you just touch on those customization options a bit?
Yeah, no, and I think that's, again, one of the differentiators of Juniper Systems is that we offer customization in a variety of forms. And really there's two branches of customization that we do. There's the branding and the coloring of a product. So if you have a solution, you know, software, sensors, and you have this package that you're trying to put together and sell, and you want it to look like it's coming from you and look like a complete package, you know, we can put your logo, we can put whatever your brand or on it and put your company colors there. And so that's one type of customization that we offer. Then there's the other branch, which is more of an integration, where if you have, you know, smaller sensors or radios, we can take that and design that into our product and have a fully integrated solution. So rather than having to carry maybe, you know, a handheld sensor and a tablet, they're now combined into one product that you only have to charge one device, and you only have to carry one device. I mean, so many of the end users have so many products that they have to handle and carry to get their job done, that, you know, anything you can do to reduce the amount of things that they're carrying is a benefit to them.
Right. It's going to improve the workflow, among other things.
Yeah, and, you know, as we can see here, here's one of them. It's on our docking station. You know, the docking station allows customers to plug in a second monitor. You can plug in a keyboard, a mouse, and kind of utilize this as a desktop as well. And so it makes it so you kind of have your office anywhere you want. And that's really our tagline for the product, is your office anywhere. And so I think one of the benefits, you know, we talked about consolidation of devices that somebody has to use. You know, we've had one customer that they purchased a bunch of Mesas, they purchased docks, and they used what was previously, they had a desktop computer, they had a field computer, and they had a GPS navigation device. And by buying the Mesa and the dock, they were able to consolidate and eliminate 3 devices and use just one. So they used the internal GPS to navigate to their data collection location. They were able to use the tablet to collect their data while they were there, and then they'd come back to the office, dock it on the dock, and then it's their desktop computer, and they're just not having to transfer files to some other computer or somewhere else.
It is their computer.
It is
everywhere.
their computer.
Very cool. All right. So you mentioned this a little bit. You touched on it, that obviously you can see our manufacturing floor right below us. But can you just talk a little bit more about how these products are designed and assembled in the United States? It's kind of cool and unique, and maybe a bit about just additional information on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much, again, is visible, but yeah, we design everything under one roof. Our engineering team is here in Utah. Our manufacturing team is here in Utah. And so a lot of our suppliers are local, some here in Utah, but local to the United States. So the majority of our components are sourced from U.S. companies.
Just one quick last question. We offer demo units, and we have a pretty cool demo program to make sure that if you want to purchase this or you think it might work for what you're doing, you can try it out first. You can upload your software, work with integrations, different sensors that you have or different components. Can you talk a little bit about our demo process and then maybe what support we offer? What's our support like post-purchase?
Yeah, so as we were talking about earlier, everybody's under one roof for the development and the production of it, but even our customer support is here local under the same roof. And so yeah, if you have a need or you think this might work for you and you want to try it out, reach out to us. You can reach out to us, on the phone when you call. A person answers. You're not getting run through some, computer phone tree. You're not getting shipped off to some other country to talk to someone you can't understand.
Right.
But yeah, so everyone's under one roof. We can get you a device that you can demo and try out. Put your software on it. See how well it works for you in your applications.
Awesome. And then maybe a little bit about the post-sale and the support we offer.
Absolutely. We have a number of methods that people can get in contact with us if they run into a problem or have a question. Oftentimes we get customers that need a little bit of help getting software installed, or they have a question about how to access something, or just get things paired up. And we have our technical support group is also here in-house. Any questions, you can just jump online, chat to us real quick, and get your questions answered there. You can reach out to us by email. So we have a number of different ways that you can reach out and get supported. And for people that, as we talked about earlier, customizations, if you have people that want to explore doing some of that type of customization, they can reach out. We've got our engineering staff here in-house that we can get them in contact with. We can have a discussion and see what makes sense and see if it works for you. And sometimes if there's someone that's really having a problem, implementing or deploying their product, there's been times where we've grabbed a couple engineers, gone out to visit the customer to really understand what challenge somebody might be having,
right,
and see if there's something that we need to modify slightly to help them improve their experience and their user experience.
Awesome.
And so I think there's a lot of ways that we can interact with end users and customers and really help them before a sell, during a sell, and after the sell. And really our focus is to try and make sure that the end customer has what they need and make sure that they're able to collect the data and that they have confidence in that.
Great. Thanks so much. And thanks for your time. Thanks for hopping on and talking to us a little bit more about the product. And I'm really excited. I feel like we covered a lot of information and we could have definitely gone even farther on a lot of these questions. So hopefully we can bring you back and maybe dive deeper into some of these other questions and talk more about it. But thanks so much, Jeff.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sarah.